And welcome back to the 10-7 show, y'all, with Tyra.
Who's not here?
Sorry, Tyra's not here. So you
wow.
With Tara, Goose, myself, and special guest host, Mr. R.
What's up, y'all?
R. Hunter.
What's up, R?
Tees with Attitude's own. He's running the joint. When you see me wearing my hoodie or my t-shirts that have New Twist Radio on it or something that he has
awesome.
on, they come from Tees with Attitude. So shout out to Mr. R. Hunter.
Yep.
And check him out with Tees with Attitude, TWATees.com. We got people on the already commenting. Tyra says, hey, she's watching. She's not on today, but she's watching.
Hey, Tyra.
Sheena is with us too as well. So shout out to Sheena. All the early birds. The early birds are on. But like I said, welcome back to the 10-7 show. And as usual on the 10-7 show, I like to start off the show by asking everyone how has their week been. I'm going to start with Ardot. Usually ladies first, but I'm going to start with Ardot because he's a special guest today. And Ardot, I'm going to let you lead. How's your week been, man? Well, you ain't been on in a while, but how's your week been? Only tell us about the past 7 days, I guess.
Man, it's been a good week up until today. But not everybody else knows that we started our 30-day vegetarian challenge today.
Right.
So today has been a little bit of a challenge, but nothing that I won't be able to push through.
Right. I'm look. I already know. I already know that you're gonna do fine. You'll be fine with it, and I will be too. I gotta believe in myself as well because I ain't gonna get through it unless I do that. But shout out. But Goose and Tara, how was your week been?
Our week was good.
Yeah,
it was super good.
I mean, they all long, but
Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking about Friday night already.
But you know what? We have to get through the week so we can get back to 10-7 Sundays, which is my favorite time of the week.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. That's the favorite day of the week.
Yep.
I start off my weekends with the Friday Vibes Morning Show on newtwistradio.com. Starts off at 7:30 in the morning, so definitely check that out. And then I finish my weekend with the 10-7 show right here with the family. So what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Now, as you know, on the 10-7 show, we talk about a lot of things relationship based. But before we even do all that, we like to give y'all everyone's favorite part of the show. And the favorite part of the show is known as, you already know what it's known as. It's the Would You Rather portion of the show. And Tara has some Would You Rather questions ready to go. So,
I do.
Tara, go ahead. Let's take it away.
This one is hilarious. Would you rather always stink and not know it, or always smell something that stinks that no one else smells? It's kind of like being pregnant. It's like being pregnant.
So let me go ahead and hop in on that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and tackle that one first.
I would rather stink and not know it because I'm good. Like, smell for me is huge.
Yeah.
And bad smells make me physically sick.
Right.
So I really don't care about how it affects anybody else. But me, I don't want to smell it. I don't want to smell it at all. So that's my choice.
Mm-hmm. Justin?
I would, as much as I do not like smelling stink things because it'll make me vomit, I would rather always smell something that no one else smells. I'm okay with that because I don't want to stink. If I stink and I don't know it, then nobody's gonna want to be around me. Like I could be.
Sure, you're not gonna have any friends.
I could be very pungent.
Right.
Stinky kid.
I want to be less than pungent.
I think in this one they should have gave an example of what you may smell like. You know what I'm saying? Because you
smell like you didn't shower for a while. I'm sure. Like you stink. Like you just play ball.
Will you get progressively funkier?
Stinkier, or do you just have?
Is it a consistent funk?
Exactly.
Right. Who knows?
Exactly.
If you have a consistent funk, then people can get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, people will get used to it. Like,
but how long will it take?
But that's the whole thing. Like, you might not even be able to make a friend because you smell so bad. Like, I really like him, but he smells like onions. Like,
but you know what though?
Smells like the Schuylkill River.
Ooh, that's bad.
Right.
But like I have a friend of mine who shall remain nameless. I know Jay knows who he is, so I ain't gonna say his name.
Oh boy.
But His breath has smelled horrible for about as long as I've known him. So
and you didn't tell him?
But see, that's what I was going to say.
I'm glad I don't know who that is.
You know exactly who it is, Jay.
Well,
I ain't gonna say no.
Think of who it is right now, but listen, I don't want to. That's one thing that hurts. Somebody talk to you and they breath stink.
Oh yeah,
and you got to kind of like act like it don't stink right away.
Yeah, because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, especially if somebody you don't know that well.
But it's so crazy because over the years, I'd offer him gum. I would offer him little pieces of candy, and he would always take it. so then it got a little less subtle, and I'm like, "Hey, did you brush your teeth today?"
Oh wow!
You should never have to say that to an adult.
Bought him a little gift packet of like dental supplies. Like, hey,
anything weird?
I know, because I'd be like, dude,
hey, bro,
yo,
I got you some dental
supplies.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like you give me the little scraper John that they be pushing your gums up with, like
like the little it was a pack of the floss sticks. It was the travel toothbrush. It was the travel but his breath was bad. I mean, still is to this day.
Yikes! Oh my god!
But
to this day,
but that's your homie.
That's my man.
See,
but
that's what I was gonna say.
So you're close enough to be like, dude, I have a good dentist I can refer you to. My dentist is excellent. Or like, when was the last time you went to? Or you could be like, you know what? I've had this toothache. I got to see a dentist, and then start on that conversation that way. And then he could be like,
never talk about the dentist.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should. In this case, I can't be your friend if your breath smells terrible.
I'm be like, hey, bro, we're gonna take a field trip to the dentist.
The dentist.
Wow. You got your insurance card with you.
That's pretty bad.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't want to stink.
You don't want to be the smelly guy.
I don't want to stink.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
body odor is big to me.
Right.
Or I mean, it's really a toss for me because like you said, we know somebody.
We do. We gonna
we all know somebody.
We have to get past this. We have guessed it. All right. So this is the second one. Okay, real quick, guys. Would you rather? I don't know if I think we did this one before. Read minds or accurately predict the future. That would be great for this Tuesday coming.
I'd rather accurately predict the future.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money off that.
Same. Yeah, I'd be like the biggest bookie in history.
Right. I would say read minds.
Really?
And so I won't. Never mind. I won't even elaborate. It's like a drawn out story. But yeah, I ain't gonna elaborate on it. But I would rather read minds because I'm a people person, and I like to make people happy, and I like to know what people are thinking about things. So it would be great for me to know in advance.
That makes sense.
But then I'm
an analytical person.
So it's like a read minds. I can say, what's Ryan going to do tomorrow? If I can predict the future.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's almost like the same thing.
Let's put it like this. If I were not married, I'd say read minds.
Okay. But you know what? It still could help even with you being married.
Say it again.
I said it still could help even with you being married.
Not as much as a wife's mind changes.
Ryan, you were one of my favorite people. No longer.
All right.
Oh, so a lot of people are saying
want to play lotto.
Yep, gonna play the lotto. Yep. Bet on horse races, basketball, and football.
Yeah. I'll definitely make money off of it.
Your wife's like, wow.
What is your wife talking about?
But you saw what happened, like with Back to the Future, and Biff got he got the book. He saw the future. He knew
everything changed.
It jacks some things up when you have that type of.
I get you right, Ryan. You're absolutely right.
But you got to be responsible.
That's a movie. That's not real life.
Yeah. But you got to be responsible with it.
Yeah.
You just can't be using it willy nilly. You know what I mean?
Call me Willie.
Big scores. Big scores when you need.
Big Willie. Big Willie.
I'd have been using it. Well, that was the Would You Rather segment of the show. Of course, we have the Would You Rather segment every show, so make sure you're here early to check out the Would You Rather segment. The Would You Rather segment was brought to you by nobody. You can sponsor the Would You Rather segment.
I got it this week. I got it.
He's pulling out the black card.
I thought we was going to say intelligent ignorance.
Maybe we don't have enough information for intelligent ignorance just yet.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
All right. So, but today on the show we have some guests on the show today. Other than the guest host, our Hunter, we have a guest host. Some guests on the show that come to talk about a very serious topic, and I'm going to let Goose introduce the guest because he memorized their information way better than I did.
Well, we want to start by saying
brother.
before we put him on the spot, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I believe that's what Carla told me. So we could confirm that with her, but that's why they're on the show. Single ladies, married ladies, everybody, ladies, pay attention to what Carla and her daughter Makenzie are going to tell us this evening. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right. So I met Carla a couple years ago when my career took a detour into reentry. We both worked at, a reentry facility. And that is her passion. That's all she talked about. Reentry, domestic violence. She has a nonprofit. She and I are also Facebook friends, and she's always posting. She got an award for this, so she's speaking here, and there's a lot of knowledge that she has. Mm-hmm. So I said we wanted to bring that to our audience,
to our family,
you know what I mean, so that you guys can know how to protect yourselves.
There are a lot of
you guys can know how to see some warning signs. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest in.
Yep, Carla and Makenzie is her daughter.
Hey, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello, ladies.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Was that enough of an introduction? Is there anything that we can add to that? I know we didn't have names, so if you want to tell us some names of the organizations that you belong to and your organization in particular, and then you can tell us your stories.
So I run a reentry nonprofit called In His Eyes Outreach, and one of our programs is a domestic violence program, and it's called Z's Reflection, and Makenzie runs that.
Okay.
And Makenzie is your daughter.
Makenzie is my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. So is this like a family run organization?
Our family business is called Focus.
Okay.
And under that we have motivational speaking, fitness training, which is my son. It's called Focus Training, and then Z's Reflection and His Eyes Outreach. It all falls under our family business. Mm-hmm. But the nonprofit is In His Eyes Outreach. And it's all things reentry.
Okay.
And then Z's Reflection is Makenzie. And that's all about dating violence and domestic violence.
Right.
And Domestic Violence Month is October.
Oh, it's October. Oh, right. So we're in November. That's right. That's right. So when you and I talked, it was still October. Okay. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we have to remember that. Yes. Okay. So. All right. So do you want to tell us, Makenzie, like, how did this come to be? How did you start your foundation? What happened to you? What's the background? You want to give us
so I started Z's Reflection 2017. I was 17 years old, and I started it because I was in a domestic violence relationship. It happened young, so it was kind of really weird for me. My story is kind of different because a lot of people that are in domestic violence, like in violent relationships, it's ongoing. But my incident happened like one time, and that was like the only abusive things I went through was when the incident happened. And I won't go through my whole story, but it happened because I broke up with him. I started noticing some red flags. He was trying to tell me like who I could hang out with, what I could wear. If I wasn't answering my phone, he would contact like my parents or my friends. And so I knew from being told that from a young age, my parents always told me that's not how a relationship should be. And you're young, like that doesn't make sense.
Was he a lot older than you, or were you guys about the same age?
He was actually younger than me.
So he was a teenager as well.
16 and 17.
Is his background like were his parents aggressive with each other, or?
So yeah, his at home life wasn't the best.
Okay.
He only lived with his mom, and she was kind of out there in the street, so very bad home life. So he wasn't really taught, I guess, how to treat a woman. So I noticed those red flags, and I wanted to break up with him. So I did, and I actually had to block him because he kept like blowing my phone up. And so one night I went to go hang out with friends to get my mind off things, and he showed up where I was, and he attacked me, he pistol whipped me, he kidnapped me, and he beat me up with a closed fist. So
oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize all that happened. I thought he was just like verbally.
So
wow.
to pull it back just a little bit. She was, she's 16 years old. We bought her a car. It allowed her to leave our little small suburban neighborhood and go find a boy. And she did just that. She dated this kid for a year or two? Year and a half. My husband and I, we of course, Goose, you know this. I investigated him, made sure he didn't have a juvenile record, checked the criminal records, did all the things that I usually do for just everybody that I meet. But this kid was like the cool kid, and his social media was filled up with thousands of kids and lots of girls, and all the girls wanted to be with this kid. Tattoos. He had a part-time job. He was in the alternative school. So that was my first red flag. And so I started calling some of the people that I know in the district to find out about this kid. And he so anyway, found out just that he used to be in fights at school.
Okay.
So my husband and I had a talk with Makenzie, like, what's going on with this kid? We're not so sure about him.
Right.
You need to bring him over to the house so we can really have a real talk with him, because you've been seeing him for a while.
Right.
And so for Makenzie, she's like, it's just a friend, it's a boyfriend, but for her, a boyfriend at 16, 17 was just somebody to hang out with her friends,
right?
That kind of thing,
right?
And my husband,
he took it more seriously,
right? And my husband kept saying, you don't know these kind of kids. Like, you're not ready for what he has to give out. He's much faster than you are. And she's like, yeah, I got this.
Right, because she's a teenager.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we met him just to have a conversation with him. The last thing my husband said to this kid when he left out of the house was, I'm asking you to never hurt my daughter, because if you hurt her, there's going to be a problem.
Right.
That was 1 week before he beat her.
Oh my God.
Is this young man still alive?
Unfortunately.
Oh, barely. No, he's still alive. So that night we got the call from she was with her girlfriends as well. And so we got a call from her best friend, who's a guy. And his call was really frantic, like, Mrs. Clanigan, Makenzie, I'm not going to say the kid's name, but he kidnapped Makenzie and he took her. He beat her. I tried to help her. We need help. So my husband and I called the police. I knew where he lived at, so we went to his house with the police. By this time, he had forced her into the car with her friends, with Christian driving at gunpoint. Now, this was after he pistol whipped her and basically beat her down like she was a boy.
Right.
Kidnapped her. So he had her in his house and we're outside. My husband at this point has lost all of his mind.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So when we got there, my husband goes right up to the, he's ready to bust into the house. So the cops had to grab my husband, and it took like 6 of them. And I was like, you're going to have to arrest him because you can't hold him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
And he's not going to stop.
Nope.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't.
Right. And so the cops kind of put him in the backseat of their car with hopes that would calm him down. But by the time I talked the kid into letting Makenzie go, she came out of the house and her face was unrecognizable.
Oh my God.
And she was covered in blood.
Oh my God.
But I will say that on our way down there, I kept calling her, and because I had taught her these warning signs, right? And I taught her how to stay alive. So she had come up with her own story.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were going to be on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Makenzie, what did you say to him to try to de-escalate it?
So it was almost impossible because he was off drugs, like he took Xans.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very hard because he was very angry. And so actually, as I'm walking to his house at gunpoint, he actually kicked me to the ground and kind of like held me at gunpoint. And I was like, just shoot me. Like I was so lifeless. I was like, okay, I'm going to die. So please just shoot me. I can't see, I'm hurting. And he kicked me to the ground and like he was still abusing me, but I knew my mom was calling, so I put it on speaker. And for him not to freak out again and to keep him calm, I was like, "Hey, mom, a group of girls just jumped me. I'm with him. We're okay. We're going to his house." And
now,
then
let me, Makenzie, I'm sorry. Let me stop you real quick. When you answered the phone on speaker, did you know your mom was already aware of what happened?
yes,
Okay.
yep,
Okay.
yeah. So that's why
Because
Christian called you.
Right,
And-
because he took you away from the group of friends that you were with, and they were witnesses.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I had her on speaker, and you asked, "Hey, are you okay?" You asked him, like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "Yeah, Miss Clanigan, I'm fine. We're fine. She just got jumped." So that kind of like
I knew to
help
go
him
with
stay
whatever
calm.
story she made up. I knew to go with it. And so
Okay.
I asked him, like, "Are you okay too?"
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I needed him to not think that we were
You
coming
were on
here.
your way.
Right.
Right.
I was gonna say, plus that confirmed that they were at his house.
Right.
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 So that kind of kept him
Now,
calm.
mind you, the girlfriends had jumped out the car and ran and ended up home, and
went
we
to
never
sleep.
heard from them.
Are you serious?
I called their parents 2 days later after she got out of the hospital, and they had no idea that this had happened.
Are you kidding me?
These are like the girlfriends that we took on family vacations with us.
Oh, so they no longer friends.
Wow. I mean,
Wait. Hold on.
They better not be friends anymore.
They left before this happened, or they just
No,
act like they
they
didn't
left
know?
while it happened.
she was
Right.
saying
They
he was
took
staying
off.
away from them to
So
another location.
No. Let McKenzie.
yeah. So we were in the car, and Christian hopped out, and I hopped out. And he was like, "Go with him. I'm getting you help. Just go with him." So I went with him, and then my two girlfriends jumped out the car. Our other friends picked them up down the street. They went home and went to sleep that night.
Wow.
They were blowing her phone up, and the cops had given me her phone, and they were just blowing her phone up, like, "Oh my God,
next
can you
day.
believe this? Oh my God, are you okay?"
But nobody thought to say, let me try to call your mother. Let me call the police. Let me follow you something.
Thank God for Christian, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, man,
Right.
Christian has gained his spot in heaven for sure.
Yeah, definitely
Right.
saved my life.
Yeah.
So you're at the house. The police are there. You talk him out. Carla,
Yeah.
you talk him
Yeah,
out?
well, I talked him into letting her out.
Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't want me to leave the house.
Yeah.
And he actually asked if he could go to the hospital with me.
What?
Oy vey. So he has mental health problems.
Oh,
Yeah, so she jumped in, they put her in the ambulance. They let my husband, they held him to carry him from the police car to the ambulance, and he went with her to the hospital. I stayed behind until they got the kid out.
Okay.
And left
So
him.
something that you just said, Makenzie. Let me just ask about that real quick. He asked if he could go to the hospital with you.
yes.
Was that partially because he believed that your folks did not know what actually happened?
Yes. He
Mm.
believed that they really thought that I got jumped.
Right,
So-
because of what you said to your mom.
correct.
Right. So he had no idea
Oh, yeah,
that
no.
everybody knew.
He has no idea all the cops are out there.
So he was being ambushed and he didn't even know. He was every step of the way. He was dead.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, okay, so then was he arrested on the scene or?
Yeah, he was arrested on the scene. He was charged as an adult.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
put into Chester County Prison that night.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
he still in prison?
No, he's out.
Okay. But he doesn't know where you are though.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, he knows.
He
But
knows.
he ain't gonna come back
He's not
around.
stupid,
Mhm.
No, she has a PFA. We had to go through the whole court process with
Yeah.
his charges. We had to go get the PFA.
Mhm.
It was really hard. And this is why we're speaking out about this a lot, because it was really hard to find her help because she was 17.
Yeah.
All of the domestic violence organizations that I was calling were like, okay, here's what you need to do. And how old is she? I was like, she's 17. They were like, oh, we don't assist children.
Really?
Yeah. And so that was really frustrating. So what I had to do is, because of the reentry work that I do, and I work with all of these other nonprofits, I was able to call one of the executive directors and say, listen, this is my daughter, and like, I need help. Like, she needs help. I have to get her into services like right away. We can't wait. And so I was able to do that for her, and we got her into a domestic violence organization who was actually wonderful. And then I got her a trauma counselor who specializes in domestic violence and human trafficking, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they tend to go, well, not hand in hand, but they can.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Makenzie, so how are you today? Like, how do you?
So my injuries were, I had fractured cheekbones, concussion, and actually I lost partial sight in my left eye. So I can't see like straight forward, but I have peripheral vision. I had a lot of anxiety, PTSD till this day. Loud sounds sometimes bother me. Or if someone runs up behind me, I'll like get startled a little bit. But I feel much better. Z's reflection, I like to speak out and talk to youth about it, and even older women. And I'm just glad my story is helping other people. So
yeah. Before the pandemic hit, were you going across the country? Were you doing high schools? Like, how did you?
So I did
to tell your story.
Doing high schools, and then I was doing just little youth groups like around the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
She got an opportunity because she missed half of her senior year. But because she was a good student, she graduated on time.
Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
It was really good because they actually brought her back to speak to the entire student body.
Wow.
Okay.
When she started Z's reflection, she was still like home with injuries, right? And she's like, Mom, I want to be able to help other people. And I'm like, if this is what you want to do, we could do this, but just know everyone's not going to accept it.
Right.
When she first started posting, we got inboxes from women, like people that I've known for years.
Oh,
like we got so many inboxes saying, this happened to me, this happened to my daughter, this happened, we didn't know what to do, or this is happening. And to this day, we get women that will contact her saying, I'm in this right now and I need help.
Really?
But she's only 21, so that's why I'm like a big part of what's happening.
Right.
So if somebody contacts you, what is the first piece of advice that you would give a woman that's scared and in a situation that she can't get out of? She feels like she can't get out of.
Yeah, because it is hard to get out, and actually they say getting out is actually the most dangerous part of it, because that's when they retaliate and will hurt you. So I always ask if they have a safe person to talk to, because I know not a lot of people want to, like, they love that person, so not a lot of people want to go straight to the police or get them in trouble. So I always ask if they have a safe person, and then I give them the domestic violence hotline and resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the last thing for you that you remember? Like, what triggered him that night? Was it the breakup? Like, you were just like, I don't want to see you anymore?
Yes, it was the breakup and me blocking him so he couldn't contact me. And actually, about an hour before the incident happened, my mom received a Facebook message from him saying, hey, Miss Flanagan, I haven't heard from Makenzie. Is she okay?
Oh, so he was trying to pinpoint where you were.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow,
I didn't see
situation.
I didn't see it till later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The situation really just kind of it. I just happened to see something on Instagram today. It was posted. It was about this guy. It was very similar to what you guys are describing, and he ended up killing his ex-girlfriend. But he stalked his ex-girlfriend for like 2 days in the woods, waited for her to come home, and basically did what he did. And they actually, the video I saw was of him at his bail hearing, at his bond hearing, and her family was there and he was there and all like that. And it's just for me to see that today, and for me to hear this story today, I mean, it nails in the understanding of, like, it's not that I didn't know how serious it is, but it brings it home a little more for me right now, because when you hear about these things, it's crazy. And then a lot of times the woman or the victim is vilified.
Right.
It's like, well, what did you do? What did you say? And I think, and when we first started this conversation, I think about how there's another video I saw, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, about a guy wanted to holler at a girl he saw walking down the street, and she didn't want, she wasn't interested, and then he picked up something, was about to hit her with it.
What?
Like,
a total stranger?
Like, yeah, it was. I mean, it was a created video.
Okay.
But these things happen.
Right.
Actually happen. Like, a girl will get cussed out. If sometimes that might be the best case scenario, is that the woman gets cussed out for denying the attempt, denying a phone number or something like that. Because a lot of times that we've heard stories where a guy will hit a woman for basically denying him the number or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, a lot of these things, I mean, I don't have an answer for it. I'm glad that you have an organization that helps people, and you were able to recognize the signs early, and you guys were able to talk about these things early. I mean, I have an 11-year-old here that I'm going to have to discuss these things, or I'm going to be that guy that's nobody can hold back.
Right.
And I don't mind having to be that guy.
Right.
But I just don't want that to happen to her.
Right. And can I say that I remember being in high school and having girlfriends whose boyfriends were like kind of quasi aggressive with them, and they thought it was cute. Oh, he loves me, so that's why he does that. But it's not cute. It's not okay for somebody to threaten you and physically put their hands on you because you went to a party with your friend, or you didn't answer their call quick enough. Like, I mean, what do you say to these young girls? Like, how do how do they know how to, like, what's okay and what's not okay? I mean, I know they say, you have this God-given, this gut feeling, but sometimes, a lot of times you go along to get along, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, you're scared to say I'm being hurt, or you don't want your friends to think that it's corny or whatever the case may be. Like, what do you say to these girls?
Before she answers, I'll say that's the part where us mothers, we have to do a better job at teaching our young girls that it's not okay and it's not cute. When I think back of when we see little like toddlers, if the little 3-year-old little boy pushes the 3-year-old little girl, the first thing everyone says, "Oh, he likes you. He likes you."
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
Right.
And that carries on for a while.
Yeah.
And at what point do we say it's not okay?
Right.
We have to start at a young age, and we have to teach our daughters all of these red flags and that it's not cute. And we have to then open the door for them to share with us.
Right.
Because
and then teach our sons too. Don't put your hands on.
Yeah,
for both sexes. Everybody
can girls not to put their hands on the boys too.
That's right.
Because a lot of girls think that they can put their hands on girls. So it goes both ways. But as parents, we really have to do a better job in teaching our kids to keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
And that it's not okay for you to take out that aggression on another person.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true.
We've got quite a few. We got a lot of comments coming in on this. I can't even go all the way back. I put some of them up there.
Right.
But I want to put this one up there from Tanya. She said, "Yep, us moms have to do a better job. When a boy pulls your hair in school, it's not cool."
Yeah.
And she said, her saying that, I was thinking, and when y'all talking about it, I was thinking, a lot of times when this happened, a boy punches a girl in the arm. Oh, he just likes you. A lot of times it's the moms saying he just likes you. It's not necessarily the dads saying it.
Oh, okay.
Like, the dads don't necessarily buy. Like, if a boy is hitting the daughter in school, the dad ain't gonna say, "Oh, he just likes you." No, because we don't even like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't even like that part of it. No, he need to stop touching you. So
no, you're right.
It's kind of a crazy thing, but as guys, we have to be better at Well, I think a majority of guys do well already in saying this, but we have to make sure our sons and maybe even the kids in the neighborhood or whatever the case may be, we got to be better as men to let these guys know what's okay and what's not.
Right. Better examples.
We have to be better. We have to be better examples of protection versus aggression. Because there's a big difference between being a protector for a woman than being aggressive. It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Tyra said, wow, somebody threw a bottle at me because I would not give him my number. I was in high school.
Most of the good thing you walked away.
Tyra, when this show was over, we're gonna have a discussion. Let me know.
Please, I got on my all black today. Let me know what's going on.
I'm just saying.
All right, so I have a couple questions that people sent me earlier in the week because they knew that Carla and Makenzie were coming on. So if you can answer them, that'd be great. The first one came from, I'm not even sure who, but are there any safe dating apps that you've heard good reviews about? Not to endorse any, but some that may be more mature or adult. Now, Makenzie, I know you're a young adult, so you may not know, but I mean, especially like living through this pandemic, that seems even before then, people are meeting each other online. Like, how do you know what's okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately, like with my generation, that's not really like a thing. We kind of use social media platforms like Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. And that's just how we're meeting people, connecting with people. And then that's when we create like, oh, let's meet up here. Or it's just so common with my generation to just Snapchat someone. Like, oh, hey, what's up? And talk.
But you can listen, no. So the same tips you guys use for safe dating, whether it's Twitter or Snapchat, you can use the same techniques on Plenty of Fish or whatever it is.
Well, I heard bad things about
you. Dig what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I will speak to that. So, is there a safe dating app? Not really, because there's a lot of unsafe people out there.
Yeah.
And my work with the FBI, because of the human trafficking, that's where all of the predators looked for young people. So if you have so many predators looking for women who are vulnerable, then right then and there, that makes those safe dating apps no longer safe.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to young people and finding, dates or hanging out, as they call it, with guys or girls, is it really safe? No, because in the world we live in, not much is safe.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
You got to kind of do like a group date.
I think that's a good idea.
Times.
Yeah. I think group dating is awesome.
Like me and my friends, like, why don't you come meet me and my friends?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Carla, another question that came in, and I know you said, you'll come back on the show and we'll talk more about the human trafficking piece of it. But a question that came up was, how do you safeguard yourself from being trafficked?
So the technical way is to talk about, like the Maslow's needs, like the triangle. Which part of those needs did you not have met as a young person? And like really to self-identify where your vulnerabilities are. Okay. Like, are you missing out on a father, and so you're looking for a man to fill a certain protection, a certain need that wasn't met as a young girl?
Okay.
But that's like the technical part of it, right? We're vulnerable in these different areas for all different reasons. But the truth is, we just need to not, like Goose said, we need to do things in groups. And we need to not fall prey to the slick talking. Right. And we need to be able to just recognize that. We need to recognize the game and when someone's playing game on us.
Okay.
And when they're selling us the fairy tale about it's greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
All of my ladies have a history of some sort of abuse when they were kids. And so the molestation and the rape that happens within the families, within certain cultures, a little bit more than other cultures, we need to really stop hiding that and talk about it. And we need to believe these girls and our cousins and our family members when they're saying that someone touched them. We need to believe them, and then we need to seek after help. So they need therapy. They need to talk about it. They need to work on it. Those are the things that really make you even more vulnerable to the game that a guy would come play because he wants to abuse you.
Wow.
I mean, I know cases where girls, it was a 14-year-old girl, met this guy. He was 21, and 48 hours later, he was selling her, had her locked up in his basement.
48 hours?
Right in Philadelphia.
Right in Philadelphia.
Wow.
How
does that happen so fast?
Think about it. She's 14.
I mean,
she goes off to school. She sees a guy that drives past and he's, running game on her. She's like, okay, I can meet you. No sooner than she gets in his car, he takes her home, locks her in the basement, and now he's selling her.
Oh, no.
Wow.
In the mall, Makenzie knows when you're in the mall with your girlfriends, you do not just like go down those long corridors to the bathroom. Go into one of the restaurants and use their bathroom.
Okay. This is good advice for boys too, though.
Oh, definitely, because boys are abused and boys are trafficked.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about it because, you're a boy, you're a man.
Right. You're supposed to be tough, right? Or
those corridors going to the bathroom in the mall are long.
Long and creepy. They are.
I was about to say it's creepy.
This is something that, even me, I'm 1,000 years old. That didn't occur to me. Like I told you earlier, like my son will send me like TikTok videos or something that he'll see on Snapchat about, women warning other women. I don't even think about this stuff. Like, he tells me all the time, you need to pay attention. And I'm like, I'm going to the 7-Eleven. But he's right. I do need to pay attention because even though don't nobody want me, I'm sure somebody would pay $2 for me.
Somebody.
Yeah. Me and my friends have been followed in the mall before. So multiple times by men.
Wow.
And like, once I peep them, they'll like disappear and I'll never I won't see them again.
She's always trying to tell her friends, no, come this way.
Yeah.
Right.
Those guys keep following us. When she goes to the malls by herself, I'm like, any store, not even just a mall, but the grocery store, don't park next to a van. Like those are the things that seem maybe silly or like, oh, that doesn't really happen. But because of the field that I work in, it actually does happen.
At school.
Yeah. And when she's in college, and when she lived in an apartment, and she called me like, Mom, I just pulled up to my apartment.
No, I was at the grocery store.
Oh, the grocery store.
I had to grab something. It was late at night, right before they closed. And I pulled up and there's a van with these two men in it just staring at me. I was like, oh, and I called you because I'm like, I really need to go to the grocery store. What do I do?
Go tomorrow.
Right.
Order a pizza. I mean, wow, that's just crazy. So this last question that I have, it's more mature. So I'm going to gear it towards you, Carla, because Makenzie, I hope you don't know the answer to this. So they say you meet a person, you've been on a few dates, you're ready to become intimate with that person. Although you're ready to take it to the next step, you don't feel comfortable with them coming to your home. You don't necessarily want to go to their home. A hotel is neutral grounds. However, that can be dangerous. What's the safest way to engage in intimacy, and what precautionary measures should be taken?
Orgy.
Don't listen to him. I'm sorry, Carla.
But the truth is, if you're worried about that, then that's probably not the time to be intimate.
Exactly.
Because if you're being intimate with someone, you're about to expose your whole self to them,
Right.
mind and emotions, right?
Right.
So if you're feeling some kind of way, like you can't trust, you're not sure he should see where you live or be in your house or you in his, then you shouldn't be having sex with him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's not time to have sex. And
Right.
that's part of the problem. Like as women, we don't feel like we have the right to wait or to say no. And we actually do. Intimate partner violence is serious. It's very serious.
Like,
And we're not putting
wife or boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yes, all of that. So what they're doing is they're taking domestic violence because they're seeing domestic, you would think of it's two people living in the same house.
Right.
So now they call it intimate partner violence.
Okay.
Because it could be any man, woman, it could be any kind of partner.
Right.
Whoever your partner is, whether it's same sex or different sex. And it doesn't have to be someone that lives with you.
Okay.
So the new buzzword or terminology being used is intimate partner violence.
Okay.
So that's happening everywhere to everybody. And there's no you know, it doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what, you know, what age you are.
Or your sexual preference.
Or your sexual preference, because it's happening. And it's happening a lot too. The sad part is that there's not a lot of homes and shelters for men.
Right, I would imagine so.
Yeah. And so that's sad too.
But do you see a lot of men who are abused?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's
But,
not.
I mean, they're physically bigger than women. So, well, most of them.
Are they really all the time? And if they're being abused by another man,
yeah, okay.
But even if they are bigger than a woman, I mean, that really, if they can't defend themselves and they're kind of like, what would you call it? Mentally, they're kind of, I'm brain farting here, but mentally they're weak mentally in a sense. They don't have any self-confidence or anything like that. They'll let people talk to them any way they want.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just a guy who was taught not to hit a woman.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Maybe they don't want to put their hands on a woman because they were raised not to do that.
Right. I could probably have been abused by a woman. I was told never put your hands on a woman.
Yeah.
I can't. Right. Exactly. Like, I'll have to make a phone call, but I can't hit you. I might have to put my thumb in your eye just to get you off me a little bit.
Wow.
But you know, that's what I tell my son, because she has a 24-year-old brother and she's 21. And I'm like, you don't let a girl hit on you, but you don't hit a girl. If a girl wants to hit on you, you introduce her to your sister.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Not promoting violence, but I'm just saying.
We all know that. We all know that, though. Yeah. I mean, listen. Wow. So, do you, within your organization, do you teach you have defense classes, or can you give people information about defense classes, or
like resources?
So resources. Do you want to get the phone numbers? Yeah. We in every county.
In our group too. We're going to post it in the group.
Okay.
And the foundation.
Okay. In every county, there is a domestic violence organization. Most of them have shelters. Those that don't can either refer you to a shelter or put you up in a hotel.
Okay.
So like in Montgomery County, it's the Laurel House. And do you have their number?
Yeah. And Makenzie, if you want, I mean, you can say it, but if you want, you can text it to me or put it in the group so people can refer back to it. And then we'll make sure we spread the information.
You're talking about Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, people that's watching from a bunch of different places. Okay.
So in Pennsylvania, we're talking about the local counties surrounding us. So there's Montgomery County is the Laurel House. Bucks County is a woman's place. And in Philadelphia County, they have several organizations that work with women who are abused. So Women Against Rape, Women Against Abuse, and all of those organizations can be Googled and found on the internet. Some offer housing, but there's a domestic violence national hotline that's really easy to get to. And their 1-800 number, do you have that on your? Yeah. Their 1-800 number will give you any information, no matter where. It's a national number, so no matter where you live at, they can connect you with the resources.
Okay, I'll be sure to put it in our group so that everyone in the group can see it in case they need it, and forward it on to anyone that needs help.
Now the Laurel House, if I'm someone that needs these services, and I know that these things are available, what do I Google? What would I need to Google to pull up this information?
You can Google domestic violence.
Okay.
Domestic violence help, domestic violence organizations, anything domestic violence, you'll get a list of resources that come up. The Laurel House is in Montgomery County, but I can tell you what their phone number is: 610-277-1860.
And you said Laurel, is it Laurel?
Yes, the Laurel House.
Okay.
And just know that for all the women that are listening, when you look into these websites with domestic violence, look on that header page, because there's always something on there that you can click immediately that would take you out of their sight. So if you're trying to hide and do this and he comes up behind you or he walks in on you or she, you're able to just one click of a button will take you to nothing. It'll get rid of their sight so no one can see it.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. That's good to know. Justin, you want to put up that last one? I was looking at that. It's from Epiphany T. One of our viewers, Carla and Makenzie, said, I was attacked by an ex after breaking up with him. Getting the restraining order was easy. Getting him charged was hard. Had 2 male witnesses and one was willing to testify. The other was too afraid.
Unfortunately, the court system and the process is so hard.
Yeah, it took about 2. It was
They
like 2.5
vilified her
years.
as a 17-year-old. He was let's see, it was a public defender that was his lawyer, right? And they tried to drag her, the 17-year-old girl, through the mud. Like, they made him out to be this great guy. All of a sudden, a church pastor started showing up. People in the community started showing up for this kid. Meanwhile, this kid had to step foot in church. Like, we weren't trying to, at this point, we just wanted him to pay some time.
Right.
So what happened is they ended up, he was charged as an adult. They drug us through the system. I'm talking about days and days and days. It was like a year long.
Continue.
It was more like keep showing up.
And nothing was happening.
For 8 and 9 hours at a time. And she went away to college. And luckily, because she was a juvenile, I was able to, my husband and I was able to appear for her. But the case, 2 years?
Yeah,
it went on for 2 years. He ended up getting out on bail, and then got put on house arrest.
Wow.
Then they wanted us to go through the case and drop the charges to juvenile.
No.
And then they wanted us to fight that. And by this time, she's exhausted. We're a year into this. She's trying to move on with her life. She, is in therapy. She's away at college trying to live normal. She's going through so much stuff. So because I know the criminal justice system, we as a family decided to allow it to go to juvenile court.
Okay.
And the reason is because if he went to adult jail, he's going to come out and do this again for sure.
Over and over.
Like for sure. He's going to come out harder, madder, more angry. And so we figured if he went to juvenile, we could get him anger management. We could get him emotional regulation. We could get him all of these classes that he would have to pass. And then we could get him more supervision. And that's what we did. And that's what ended up happening. He went to a state facility for a year. So he had already served almost a year. He went to a state facility and we were able to make sure that he passed all of these classes. So every 6 months when he came to court, I met him, I showed up, me and my husband showed up to court to make sure that he was following, getting all these classes. And they got him enrolled in college, a tech school. And, he's still around. We've seen him.
Jesus Christ. I can't even imagine seeing your attacker in the Acme. Like,
yeah.
What is that? Like, is this like, there's such and such, or did he try to speak, or he's not even allowed to, right?
He's not allowed to.
Yes, but so I went to my cousin's graduation. I think it was like almost 2 years ago, and his little brother was in the same class as my cousin. And at the outside after graduation, he walked really close to me, like behind me, like trying to like intimidate me. He walked really close, then he was just like staring at me, but no, he did not speak to me.
Wow.
He's not supposed to, but he talked about her for a whole year on the internet, and he wasn't allowed to mention her name, so he would say everything but her name. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I hope he learned his lesson and nobody else has to suffer through what you went through or worse.
Right.
Dealing with that man. So
that was the hope. That was the hope that he could get some help. We found out that he grew up watching his mom get beat up by her boyfriend all the time. And his mom was out in the streets and she was hooked on drugs. She showed up to court. She showed up to visit him in jail. They had to escort her out. So, all of that is
children learn what they
They know
live.
what they live. That's right.
right.
That's right. That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, I'm glad you came out of it.
Yeah. Wait, so Carla, this was after LMS?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It was right after LMS. Yep.
Makenzie, I'm glad you're doing okay, and I hope you continue to heal. And
thank you
have
for
a
sharing.
Wonderful life. Yes, thank
absolutely,
you so
man. Amazing.
I would suggest that everyone get into counseling. Though counseling was her lifesaver.
Yeah, I have the best trauma therapist, and
Right.
it's different because it's not just the normal boring therapy where it's just you and this other person talking. Like if I'm feeling angry that day, we'll box it out or do some yoga.
Oh, nice.
Go on a walk. Like it's very helpful. I suggest everyone get a therapist.
Yeah,
nice.
Definitely.
And know the warning signs. Can she just say the warning signs?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just some red flags. A lot of people kind of overlook these because it's like, oh, it's my boyfriend. So, telling you what to wear, where you can go. Or one of my big things was right before the incident happened, he told me I couldn't have any more guy friends. Like I had a lot of guy best friends and he didn't like that. Don't text him anymore. Don't text this person anymore.
Controlling your phone.
Yeah. Like taking your phone.
He was very controlling overall.
Yeah, overall, just trying to control everything you do.
Wow. Wow. And did you ever say to your mom, like, he said this to me, or you kept it to yourself?
So like I said, my situation was so different because it wasn't ongoing abuse. It literally happened. Like when he started telling me what to do and stuff, it was literally 1 week before my incident. And I broke up with him. So I did not tell my parents because I didn't know how. I'm a teenager.
He's going to go off the deep end.
Yeah, and I didn't know how they would react, so I kind of brushed it off and handled it myself. But I would not suggest anyone to do that. Definitely tell your parents right away. Or tell if you don't feel comfortable with telling your parents, tell someone you're close to, one of your best friends.
Tell somebody that if you're in trouble is going to go to your parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why moms, we gotta be okay. You gotta step out the room, take a deep breath, then come back in the room and finish the conversation.
That's right. That's right.
Help me with this timeline real quick because you said something interesting. So the main incident that we were talking about happened how long after you broke up with him?
It happened like 2 days.
2 days after you broke up with him. He started showing you signs, like you didn't see any signs until about a week before that.
Correct.
And then that week before you broke up with him was also the week that your father said, "Don't hurt my daughter."
Correct.
And then like from that point forward,
it escalated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's very interesting.
Crazy. I wonder what snapped in him. I mean, I know we're never going to know, but I just wonder. So how did he get from here to here? So
right. So this was a kid that is used to having girls. Even though he was like the kid. Yeah. Like all the girls wanted to be his girlfriend. Like he was like the kid.
So me not wanting to be with him and breaking up with him, he was like, "Whoa, wait." Like,
yeah, like you know who I am. You know who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like confused on why all the girls on me. Why are you doing this? So that definitely triggered him.
Wow.
Yeah, and they said he took Xannies. He took a Xanny that night before he came and attacked her, and they said that's what that was the snap. That was the trigger.
See, I gotta leave that stuff alone.
Yeah,
leave that stuff alone. You don't know what
I'm so glad you're okay. I'm glad you got the therapy. I'm glad it's working for you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
And you're done with college? Did you graduate?
No, I'm a senior. So
okay. All right. Well,
congratulations.
Congratulations.
The senior year.
The best 2 years of my life. I'm just saying. Absolutely. I don't know why y'all laughing at that, but okay.
Before we let you go, you guys have to answer the would you rather questions.
Absolutely.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'll read them to you again. Okay, so the first one is, would you rather always think and not know it, or always smell something that stinks that no one else smells?
I would always smell something that stinks because I can't smell, so it wouldn't bother me. I just don't want to smell. I'm a people person. I need people around me. I just don't want to smell.
Right.
I'll throw up. I'll get nauseous. I think I would rather stink and not
know it. Like I don't know what you guys smell. I don't smell it.
Come on, bring it in.
Right here.
All right. So, the next one is: would you rather read minds or accurately predict the future?
I think accurately predict the future. Because then, I got it down and it's all good.
I think maybe read minds because I'm a people person and I like to know what people are thinking. I like to know what their next moves are, what they're thinking about a conversation I'm having.
Right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate you coming on.
You guys.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being. Thank you for the information too that you give out to.
And if you forward it to me, forward me everything you have, or I can Google it. I'll put it in the group so that our viewers in our group are aware of those resources.
And links to
your foundations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Definitely will.
All of that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send it.
Thank you,
right.
ladies.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
All right.
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate you on.
Yep.
All right. So that was Carla and Makenzie. What a story. What a story.
Man.
Wow.
What a survival story. A brave girl.
Brave.
That she went through that and to have the presence of a mind to basically remember your training.
Yeah.
They always tell you remember your training. She remembered her training. Her parents did a great job of letting me know
excellent job
that these things happen. I think a lot of us just hope these things don't happen. She was prepared for if it does happen, and she was able to execute that. So absolutely.
But look how things have evolved, because I know when I was a kid, my parents and I came up with like a word,
a safe
like
word.
A safe word.
So they would send somebody to pick us up from school.
Yeah.
They would say, Goose and Tanya, your mom and dad sent me to pick you up from school, and the safe word is watermelon.
Right. And I think we had that back in the day.
Yeah,
that was something that was taught through the schools and stuff like that.
Right. But now, look, she was trained to come up with a cover story.
Yeah. And mom knew to go along with it. That is so smart. I love her. We definitely have to start talking to Eli. I mean, because I feel like I said, I mean, we only have the one son, but boys could find themselves in trouble spots too. Yep. Or even trying to have a friend, you could find yourself in a trouble spot. So definitely need to have these conversations with our children.
Yep.
So wow. I'm so glad they came on.
Absolutely. And I would encourage anyone that missed any part of that discussion to go back to the YouTube channel, and it's going to be there tonight, so you can go back tonight, check it out. If you need the link, ask us for the link. We'll shoot you the link, whatever the case may be. But it's on the.
We'll put the resources in as well, because you never know who needs it.
Absolutely. And it's going to be on the New Twist Radio YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. Any last words before we get out of here? I mean, brick wall ending.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're ready to hit that brick wall.
Y'all be safe.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, R. Hunter.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being on, brother.
I appreciate y'all for inviting me.
Yeah. And it was nice.
And he's no stranger to this StreamYard platform. So
So all right, thanks guys.
Whatever. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all next week. We out of here.
Next week.
Peace.
All right, see y'all.
Bye guys.